could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around for
You could be with anyone, and I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome to the Sunday Night Sound Off Show. I'm your host, James from My Take on Reality, and we are back once again. We're going to wait a little bit for the room to load. And while we do that, I'll put on some hits. Hey, Lizzie B, what's going on? What's happening? What's happening? Maria Gonzalez, Karen in the house. What's happening? I'm going to put on a little bit of some tunes while we let the room load up. I'm glad you guys can hear me. I will be, you guys will be able to see me soon because I have some, hopefully I'll be finishing up my little studio in short order. So we'll be doing that. But here we go.
Could be watching chefs burn pots in the kitchen or influencers fake fights for attention. Drama queens with crowns, but no conviction. But now you're here, my addiction. Could've clicked that prank, that mukbang feast, or streams of gamers slaying beats. But you're here with me, not scrolling free, not lost in streams or reality. You're here with me where you wanna be, out the algorithm, just you and me. Could be watching cats knock glasses down, or a dude trying to stunt, stressed as a clown. DIY hacks turn smiles to frowns, but you're vibing here, no fakes around sound. This ain't unboxing or ASMR, no clickbait titles, no rented cars. Realest channel in your repertoire. Stay tuned, superstar. But you're here with me, not scrolling free, not lost in streams or reality. You're here with me where you wanna be, out the algorithm, just you and me. Yeah, could be watching chefs burn pots.
All right. What's up?
Fights for attention, drama queens with crowns, but no conviction. But now
They love the they love to put it in through the they love to put it in through the rewind or loop, put it on a loop, keep it going. But yeah, we could get started. What's going on, Lori? Thank you so much. That was a gift given to me by Just Scrapping. Put that together for me. But yeah, we are here live in full effect. We're talking about anything and everything. Yesterday we did the round table. Went a little longer than it was supposed to, but it was a really good conversation. So, you know, sometimes when it gets going good, I can't stop it. Can't stop the flow. But I'm glad that we are back for another one. I was thinking, like, the way a lot of this stuff is kind of coming out, especially with the new announcement of the new season, and I'm sure they'll be starting at some time around I'm sure that'll be starting sometime around September. And it bothers me that we just can't get a handle on what exactly they're going to be talking about. What is going on? What is happening? And to be honest with you, it kind of feels like they don't really want us to know. You know what I mean? Am I the only one who feels that way? Am I the only one who feels like we're being held in the dark? You know, like I have no idea what in the world this season is even going to talk about. Like we're going to just listen to Cody talk about how much he loves Robin, and you know, Christine talk about how much she loves David. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm happy for everybody. Like, cool, you got somebody, and it's hard to find people, but do I really want to listen to that? You know. And then Cody, like he's rolling out his Cameo Empire. Apparently, he bumped his prices up to like $200 a Cameo, which is crazy talk, you know. So I don't even know. But like, even as I go through the like a lot of the Facebook stuff, I see a lot of like the older seasons, and I don't know. We're just at that point where like even the reruns are reruns now. So I don't know. And Kathy Rand, they don't want to talk about the real issues. That's what I'm saying. Like, what are we watching? You know, like, what are we watching? This somebody posted a photo of Christine and David at the holding out help gala. That would have been perfect to be filmed for the show. Yeah. And hold on a second, because for those who don't know, so holding out help is like a support group. I'm gonna go to their mission. So their mission statement is about us. Holding out help is dedicated to providing full service care for individuals from polygamous communities. Our experienced team, along with trusted volunteers, work diligently to understand and meet the unique needs of this population. Through personalized case management, we guide each client to their path to stability and independence. In collaboration with a strong network of partners, HOH, Holding Out Help. What is it? Holding Out Help offers essential resources including housing, food, clothing, counseling, education, and more. The help in our name reflects our mission: helping, encouraging, and loving polygamists. Yeah. Founder story. Yeah, I guess my my only issue with this is, you know, I guess it's a lot, and it's good that they, you know, are trying to work with organizations, but again, you're part of a show which amplifies and almost celebrates the idea, it celebrates and encourages the idea of polygamous relationships as alternative lifestyles. And so it's I don't know. I don't want to be too like poo-poo-ish, but it just feels like because they did so much to encourage it, it feels like they have to take that extra step to walk it back. Am I being fair, or I'm gonna ask you guys. Let's put that to a poll. Because even with the volunteerism of being a part of, you know, this type of movement, should the cast of Sister Wives take additional steps to out the evils of polygamy? I'll just put that simply put. Should the cast of Sister Wives take additional steps to out the evils of polygamy? I'm curious what you guys think. Like, is it enough to go to the meetings and try to help people kind of on the down low, or, be a part of these groups where you're working with folks to help them get out? Or should you, the same way you can sit on television and say, we need to legalize polygamy because that'll make things better. We need to make it legal so that way these husbands can use the legal system more effectively against their wife. Like, legalize polygamy. Should they have to come out and say, like, all the stuff I was talking about, we were full of shit, we were wrong, or we were lying? Should they have to do that? In order for them to kind of undercut the potential damage that they may have caused by being a part of a show that essentially propagated this practice. And I'll back off of it because I'm curious what you guys have to say. What's this? Melanie from Notes to Self is the one who posted the picture of herself, Corey, Christine, and David. Okay. Well, I mean, I think she was MCing that night. Melanie, I think she was MCing the event. So I know she was a part of it. I know she was there, which is good for her. I mean, I think between Melanie and Corey, I think they've done a lot to try to talk about some of the negative aspects of their experiences in polygamy. And I think that there is a way that you can be like, because I don't think that it necessarily helps if you're 100% like bashing and smashing everybody who's still a part of it, because they still, like it or not, whether we agree with it or not, Melanie and Corey, even Christine, Mary, Janelle, Cody, Robin, they still have family and friends who are still a part of polygamous families. So they may be very hesitant about coming out smashing this type of relationship because their loved ones may feel like they're coming after them. And I understand that and I respect it. And even to the case of like Melanie and Corey, they've been very good about talking about their experiences, good, bad, and indifferent, in dealing with polygamy. And if we're going to pretend like polygamy is an option or polygamy is an alternative lifestyle, then I think we do a disservice by ignoring the evils which have taken place within those communities. I don't think it helps, in other words. So I'll leave it there for now. Polygamy has many authors who have wrote books about how they were raised. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. Like, I get and I respect the fact that people will take the position that, not everything is the same and some of the groups are different. But I hastened to guess or put it out there that there is a possibility. And can we come to an agreement that there is a possibility that even though they may practice slightly different, there are underpinning common ground issues and struggles that occur within these institutions. And again, one of the things that really strikes me as we talk about polygamy and the differences in the families and this, that, and other, is that when Cody came out and they first started, they came out and they played we're all just like everybody else and our relationships are just like everybody else and everything that we're going through happens in monogamous relationships and we shouldn't be judged. And everybody kind of went along with it. You know, there's regular relationships where people cheat and stuff. And everybody goes along with it. But then it all comes to when Cody started acting up. Name one group leader who came out and said that he was acting inappropriately. That what he was doing was completely ridiculous. You understand what I mean? Like it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Let's see. It all goes back to Mormon polygamy. Mormon polygamy is the women's only way into the celestial kingdom. Yeah, I mean, but that's all. I mean, you have things like that in other religions as well. Like you have to give up 10% of your tithe, 10% of your income in order for you to get into heaven. Like, I mean, there will be rules which will support the institution without a doubt. So, and I guess that feeds into the whole like, this is the way they were raised. But if you are part of a group and this is part of what I'm saying as far as the question that I'm asking with regard to the survey question, should the cast of Sister Wives take additional steps to out the evils of polygamy? If we argued that they were brainwashed, they were innocent, naive, almost like school children level ignorant, and they had no idea what the outside world held and what anything was because they were completely brainwashed by being a part of being raised in this type of family to think that polygamy was so important and this was the only way they were getting into heaven. If I believe that, they have hit a point now where they are no longer in the cult. They no longer believe that because they've left it, they've abandoned it, they turn their backs on it. So it would behoove you to have more, in my opinion. I think that it would be on you to have even more vigor when it comes to your disagreement with the whole idea of polygamy because you were in it and you saw what it was. You realized it wasn't the right move. It wasn't the move and you left it. But when you left, you have to take into account the fact that you pulled people into it. If I grew up thinking that slinging dope was okay because everybody told me it was a cool thing to do and that's the way I was raised, and I ruined lives all over the place because I was encouraging people to participate in this activity, then I don't just get to walk away and say, oh, well, I know better now. I messed up, y'all. It's over. You know, it was just the way I was raised. I think that you have, like, morally, I think you have a debt to pay back. Especially if you yourself have encouraged other people to do it. Because again, but simply by being on the show, and this is why I extended further for the cast members of Sister Wives, because just by being a part of a polygamous relationship, you could walk away from it and I wouldn't say anything to you if you decided never to talk about it or speak of it again. But if you were on a national television show where you propagated the ideas and the values and virtues of being a part of this institution, and you held it out as not only a positive, but you held it out as like some kind of test of character to show how valuable you are, I think that you have a higher responsibility to the people that you may have influenced. In fact, I think that you should actually come out and say and apologize because you actively participated in the downfall of other people. And to a degree, whether we like it or not, all of them are guilty for running cover for the abuses that occurred within polygamy, because they were telling us the whole time that no, that was just the Warren Jeffs group who were doing the abusing. It's not the AUB. It's not the other groups. It's just this one particular person. So that's where I'm kind of coming from. What's this? My hubby is bringing up dinner. I love my hubby of 33 years. He is such a keeper, unlike Kotex, who is like a Tampax, dirty and gross and a lie. Well, bon appetit, Kathy Ferran. Bon appetit. Uh-oh. Like I said previously, Christine acknowledged in her book that she was raised in a cult and she raised her kids in a cult. None of the others have said anything close. She said that, but again, like, I think her responsibility goes a little deeper. What is this? Sun, Moon, Love. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Okay, Sun, Moon, Love. As Mel says, if you have trauma, please do your work. I'm so sorry to anyone who has had abuse. I'm always lost for words. Yeah. I mean, I think that there's a recovery process that has to occur. And maybe I'm being too hard on them. I mean, that would be a fair play. Maybe I'm being too hard on them because they're still in recovery. They're still trying to work their way through their shit. That's a possibility too. Yeah, they need to do an episode with Christine's aunt. We need new drama. Yeah, I just that kind of put me in a that situation put a bad taste in my mouth because you did have somebody who was working with Kirsten, her aunt Kirsten. Kristen Decker, because she was a part of a group too that was doing a lot of work to try to break down a lot of those, like save families and people who are participating in those things. So, and even when she came out, and Cody was talking to her, it was like, oh yeah, that was just your family. That was your family was jacked up. You trying to put that on everybody else. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's running cover. Because if you know that your relationships are all falling apart and everything that they're saying, the people who are on the stage saying and complaining about polygamy are actually occurring in your family and you're covering for it, then I think that's like, I don't know. Like, it rubs me the wrong way. Just rubs me the wrong way. So yeah, I would like to see Kirsten come up. I would like to hear what she has to say. I think that's a good idea. TLC, if you're watching, that's what I would like to see. I would like to see that too. I'm with Lizzie B. Lori A. Minnesota said, they have all become so greedy. The person I find the most genuine today is Mary. Yeah, I think Mary is getting a lot of shine because Mary's been quiet this whole time. But even Mary's kind of coming off greedy to me, to be honest with you. Because like they sat there for that, like just as an example, they sat there during last season making fun of the blind date or the speed dating, only for Mary and Jen to do speed dating events. Like, one minute you making fun of them because it's corny and it's ridiculous and everybody looks silly and stupid. Next thing you know, you figure you can make some money doing it, so you start hosting your own. Then you talk about running a book. So I don't know. It's just yeah. Just, and then the fact that they don't want to do anything for the money, like they want to stay on the show, they want to keep showing up on Sunday on my TV, but they don't want to do anything for it. So, like, what am I watching? And that's why I keep going back to the whole thing of like, what am I watching? Like, you guys don't want to do anything for the money. You just want me to tune into your show because you have a show. And I'm like, what are you going to show me? Don't worry about it. Just keep watching. Because I got to pay for this, these renovations or these new houses or, you know, my new businesses or whatever. That's how I feel. Like, I just feel like a chump watching the show now. So I agree, James. Lack of accountability. Yeah, I just, like, I don't know. And trust me, I don't take it lightly that I'm coming after them a little bit, just because, you know, it does slightly feel unfair because they have been mistreated. But I'm also looking at people that they may have influenced and people who support them, to be honest with you. Because you have people who will heavily support the OG3 and the kids and everybody. And I just don't, like, in a weird way, and maybe this is, like I said, maybe this is just me. It just feels like the love isn't being reciprocated. Like, it feels like, and maybe that's my next question. It just feels like the love is one way. Like, everybody is supporting Christine, Mary, and Janelle. They thank you for supporting them. And all that. Of course, Cody and Robin are jealous that the other three wives are being supported. But it just feels like they're saying, you know, thanks, but no thanks. You can support me, but I don't really want your support because your support makes me feel uncomfortable. Because the way things are set up, you're supporting me in a way I don't like. I guess maybe that's the part of it. And it's not the part of, like, oh, I don't appreciate your support because you're threatening people on my behest. It's like, you watch the show, you feel bad for Mary because how she says she was treated by Cody. She says she was treated by Cody. You go up and say, Mary, I support you because Cody did treat you badly. Well, you don't really understand the situation, so I don't know what you're talking about. Like, whoa. Whoa. Like, what? Why are you coming at me? Why are you coming at my neck? And to me, that's kind of like, that part feels like bullying. Because bullies never go after. Cody sits there and mess with you all day long. He mess with you all day long, say all kinds of wild shit. You have nothing to say. But then you have somebody who's watched your show for the last 15 years, watch you go through all these things, sit up there and watch you cry on the channels and on the couches, on the tell-all, and talk about how your feelings is hurt because you didn't realize what's going on and how badly Cody's treating you. And the second they show up and support you in person and say, Mary, I'm on your side. I got your back. I see how badly he's been treating you. I see that you've been hurting. Girl, I think you're a real one. And she look you in the face and say, step off because you don't really understand what's going on. You only see hour of my life once a week. And that's her response. It just seems like, I don't know. Like, it's a way for you to say something slick and hurtful to somebody who you think that you have power over. But when it comes time for you to defend yourself against people who are on your level, or you consider to be on your level, you ain't got shit to say. You hush mouth. That's where I kind of take issues with a lot of what I see as far as the cast are concerned. You know what I mean? Like, you'll sit there and talk shit about fans and what they got to say, or YouTubers or creators or whoever, because you think you better than us. And that's all it is. But these people get up there and say all kinds of wild shit about you. Cody and Robin get up and call you a liar on TV. Call you a liar. Damn it, call some of the wives thieves and shit. And then all we get is, well, I ain't really trying to cause no problems. I ain't really trying to get all up into it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lower myself to respond. You won't lower yourself to respond to somebody who is tied to your life but you'll lower yourself to respond to somebody who you ain't got nothing to do with. That's, to me, that's weak sauce. Sorry, not sorry. Was this that's a Susie Q. I think they should do way more, but at least an acknowledgement is better than others pretending nothing happened. I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, nothing to see here. I agree with that. Even in passing, like, yeah, this shit was a cult. It was wild. It's better than, well, I would do it again. And that shit's just insulting. That shit's insulting. Because if I stand in my kitchen crying, talking about I ain't got no money, there's no way in the world I would do that shit twice. Well, I mean, it turned out pretty good. No, it didn't. There's this these people really wanted to recover and heal. They would be done with the show. Oh, and stop hurting their kids. Yeah, but we know why they ain't gonna stop doing the show. We know why they ain't gonna stop doing the show. Because it's about that funny stuff, that funny money. You know what I mean? They ain't never gonna stop doing this show. It's about the money, baby. About them Benjamins. As long as they cutting checks. I mean, realistically, and we say that, but let's be honest, guys. Let's take a moment to be honest, real quick. If they stop doing the show tomorrow, what would they do the day after tomorrow? Let me say that one more time. If they stop doing the show tomorrow, what would they do the day after tomorrow? Because what do they have that's generating the same level of income as this show? And that's not, I'm not even really trying to take a shot. I'm just being, it's like a guy who plays football, professional football. You're like, I'm going to quit the team. Okay, well, what are you going to do after you quit? How are you going to pay your bills? Maintain your lifestyle? Let's see. Black Swan Gothica. So I want Robin to speak about why she allowed Cody to stay with her, spend his money on her over all others, and was fine with it, knowing it was causing harm to other children. A short answer, because Robin was looking out for Robin and Robin's kids. And, and in fairness, I've said this the other day, as bad as Robin was, those women, the OG3, they should have been looking out for their kids too. Because I get like the whole, when this all started, they were all poor and they were all struggling and they were trying to get by and they learned to work together. But when the game starts flipping and switching, the new ones show up and every time you turn around, like, because in Christine's book, she talked about how Peyton would come back and he would be crying because to him, Kentucky Fried Chicken was fair. Why was Kentucky Fried Chicken a sense of fairness to him? Because he would always ask, could they get takeout? And Cody and Robin and Cody and Christine would tell her, no. As a family, we can't afford takeout. When Cody would come over to the house, we can't get takeout. We got to make Cody his steak and potatoes, and we got to sit here and eat grilled cheese sandwiches and shit and tater tots. And then when Peyton would go over to Robin's house, there'd be Kentucky Fried Chicken and shit in the trash and in the refrigerator. And I think that's when she said, don't take shit out of my refrigerator. I think, this is my opinion, but I think that's what she was talking about. Because if those kids are like, if they come over to your house and you got pizzas and shit in your refrigerator, and you got Kentucky Fried Chicken and burgers and stuff from like leftovers from fast food restaurants that these kids haven't seen, yeah, they're gonna reach in your refrigerator and start taking shit. Meatball sandwiches, the pizzas, the fries, anything you got nailed down. Yeah, they're gonna start taking it. And so I think that's why she had that on her refrigerator. Don't go on my refrigerator taking shit, because other kids weren't used to it. But the whole point is that when this is something that Christine knew about, and if you could sit there and you could say, I don't understand why when you go over to Robin's house, you guys are ordering out, takeout, but when you come over to my house, we sitting here, I'm buying you specialty food so you could eat it here. But you go over to Robin's house, you having a damn cheat day with her kids. And she don't have to cook anything. And that's what I mean. Like the women should have, I'm not saying, like, I'm not taking blame off of Cody. I'm not taking blame off of Robin, but like, y'all got to defend yourselves too. Like, you can't rely on the kindness and consideration of somebody who is never going to be kind to you. Because at what point and what in your history made you think that Robin was going to give a shit? First time she ordered she got Kentucky Fried Chicken, and Dayton went and answered the door. Bing bong. Little Peyton came over. It was dinner time, and Dayton opened the door. He got chicken grease all over his fucking face, and and Dayton said, and Peyton sitting there, his front touching his back, looking in the house. And then Cody sent him back across the street, telling him to go get some Oscar Mayer Wiener bologna sandwiches and hit the bricks. You know, Peyton went back and told his mom. And Christine should have been over there knocking on that damn door. Like, I don't understand why we spend all the money. And they knew that they were spending the money. Like, that's the other part that kind of trips me out, too. They knew he was spending the money on Robin like that, but nobody said shit. So, I don't know. But I think Robin would just simply say, look, I did what I was supposed to do. You know, I was looking out for my kids. I was making sure, like, if they're okay, if the OG3 was okay with Cody only spending a half hour at their house with 6 kids and each kid get maybe 10 minutes and he bring his ass, and I insisted that he come back to my house because my kids need more than 10 minutes because I know what my kids want, and she advocated for her kids, then the same way Robin advocated for her kids, those OG3 should have been advocating for their kids too. Is that being fair or is that not being fair? Maybe I'm not being fair. But let me know what you guys think. See, I'm also tired of funding Cody and Robin's life, right? I'm looking forward to the downfall. Now, if we keep watching the show. As long as we keep watching the show, TLC gonna keep cutting them checks. It was this Cody put whoever he was mad at in the front of the show, in front for a show, while he and Robin hid in the background. Yeah, that's why he liked to have them around, because they were the distraction points. Because you notice, like, until recently, Robin never even said that she had a disagreement with Cody until recently. Trying to create like a storyline. Because even then, the disagreements that they had is like, the disagreements that Cody and Robin had actually felt more like the shit you say when you're on a job interview. When they ask you, well, what are your flaws? My flaws? Oh, shit. I work too hard. I'm always on time. And I sometimes expect too much perfection from myself. Those are my flaws. Like, that's the kind of arguments that Cody and Robin was having. I want you to be the best dad. I know I want to be the best dad ever, but these wenches won't let me. And then that's the kind of argument that Cody and Robin had. I was so mad because I know he's an awesome father. And I'm like, you gotta be with these kids. And he's like, I call them, but they don't do anything to help me, Robin. I don't know what to do. And then, so it's nobody's fault. The shit they argue about, like even when they were standing in the snow, the little square block of snow. This argument they had, it wasn't Cody or Robin's fault. You need to be there for the kids. I know I'm trying to be there for them, but they don't want me. How is that Cody's fault? How is that Robin's fault? How is that a disagreement between Cody and Robin? They're both saying the same shit. They're both making the same point. But that was just drama that was played up for the cameras. What's this Lori say? I stopped watching it for the past couple years. Still love the community you have developed, James. Oh, thank you, Lori. I appreciate it. I got a little secret I'm gonna tell you guys at the end of the secret sauce. Thank you so much. Black Swan Gothic can say, I want Robin to admit she's a cold, calculating bit. Greedy as F, lied about her ex to get Cody to adopt her kids, and lastly, use her kids to get adopted to give her financial leverage. Yeah, I think all of that is true, but you'll never hear Robin say it. Not out of her mouth. Not out of her mouth. I don't disagree. But she'll never admit it. She'll go to her grave talking about, I was trying to get with the family. I wanted the family to be perfect, and I wanted us all to be together. You know. Oh, what sentence was that? From Minerva. James say that. Oh, I'll put this. There you go. Put it on the screen. Uh-oh, what is this? Say Janelle Strive hit my Facebook feed and I blocked it. I did restrain myself from writing a commentary. Strive. I thought she was supposed to be down there growing flowers. How's she gonna have a business, Strive business? What is going on? Oh, Daisy Reyes in the house said Dayton can't stand them people allegedly. You trying to break free. I want to be free. I just remember weirdo Janelle just apologized for putting the kids first when she never did above Cody. Yeah, right. I'm sorry. Well, because I guess I'm sorry I chose the kids instead of you during COVID is what she was really apologizing for. You know. Miss Indeed said, I want to sit on the porch with my sister wives. Nicole Aggie, Dee, I'm more surprised that Robin was allowed to spend her own money on dolls with a controlling a-hole like Cody. He missed out on buying more clothes and watches for himself. Yeah, right. Got to keep the wifey happy. Was this? I think it'll be several years, if ever, before Tater Farms is successful. Yeah, I mean it's a huge undertaking what they're talking about doing. So I don't know. I mean, I wish the best for him, but I know it's hard. I mean, it's hard in a way that it's not like hard impossible, but it's hard in a way that it will be very impressive if they're able to get it off the ground. For sure. Because you're not like at that point, you know, there's a difference between gardening and being a farmer. You might like to garden, you know, grow food for yourself and then taste like I got some cute radishes coming in and I got some some tomatoes and, garlic and onions. And, I'm growing my little garden or whatever. It's another thing when people are asking you or expecting you to provide a specific flower at a specific time, for a specific event. So if I have a wedding and I want 300 carnations, you can't call me up the week before talking about, oh yeah, them carnations, they ain't come in because we got a real bad frost or something. I need those. I need that. And I need what I ordered. So it's a lot harder than just, we had some really cool plants coming this week. So God bless her. She's able to get it going. Good for her. I wonder what Gabriel's reaction was when Janelle apologized to Cody for defending them. Yeah, right. Yeah, his face probably split and fell off. Like, cause I mean, imagine like you're in a hot war with Cody, hot disagreement, and all of a sudden, like, yeah, I'm sorry, I chose the kids over you. Like, what? He still ain't choosing us. Exactly. Subsidizing versus depending on it to survive. Yeah. And of course, Miss ND said, please hit the like. I agree. I concur. Nicole Aggie, Tato Farm is getting a commercial contract for flowers compared to getting people to visit, pick flowers with many other activities to draw people in. Say like roll-offs, pumpkin farms, so many employees. Yeah. I mean, I think that the second is probably easier. Like people come down and pick their own flowers. It can be. I think part of the problem is though, you really got to have like that's a niche market. That's a really niche market. Because it sounds good. People showing up picking their own flowers, but like you'll have people who come out and just looky-loos. It's kind of like I like just a little inside baseball story time. I like karaoke, right? And one of the things with karaoke, anybody who does karaoke, they start off and they're like, oh man, it'd be so great if the bars did karaoke, blah, 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 blah. And you travel and go different places to support karaoke places and sing in different places. You meet a lot of different people. It's a great community. The one thing with karaoke, though, is that if you have a bar, like I know there is a bar not too far from me that they do karaoke. Was it 5 nights a week, 4 or 5 nights a week? So you start on Wednesday, go all the way to Sunday. So 5 nights a week. The only days they don't do it is Monday, Tuesday. And the problem with that is you'll have a really good setup, really good songs, really good sound system, the whole nine, put a lot of money into it. The problem is the clientele, because people who come for karaoke a lot of times are like the singers and stuff, and they'll come out and they'll do a really good job singing and performing, but a lot of them aren't boozers. So they're not like getting smashed out, hammered up, and then jumping up on a microphone. Like most of them are some of them are teetotalers. So you have like a group of like 40-year-old, 40, 50-year-old people, or 30, 40, 50-year-old people with families. They show up, maybe get like 2-3 beers a piece, and maybe they get like something to eat, maybe. Whereas if you run a regular bar, you'll have usually a younger crowd. These people are drinking almost to capacity, and that's how bars make their money. So when you have like a thing like Tater Farms, if you do like a flower thing, people will show up because Janelle's on TV, or people will show up because they grow really pretty flowers. But then it always kind of comes down to how many people are actually getting out there purchasing the flowers or purchasing the event. And that's where you kind of hit the struggle. So, I mean, that's the only thing I would be worried about, I guess. What was this? Janelle chose the hardest business to start. I worked at a garden center one summer and I saw firsthand how arduous, labor intensive, and unpredictable. Yeah. Especially during like now, because technically we've started entering into a economic turndown or slowdown. So like I said, I like the karaoke stuff or entertainment. Those are entertainment. Any type of entertainment or luxury items are always the first thing to suffer anytime there's economic slowdown. So when the money starts getting tight, people trying to figure out how they pay their bills, they stop going to the flower shows. They stop going to karaoke. They stop going to bars. They stop going to restaurants. They stop going to movies. They stop going to comedy shows because that's just extra money that you don't need to spend. So, I mean, it's a rough time to start. It's a hard business. It's a fickle business, because sometimes you have like people will be excited about one thing, and then this year and then next year is something completely different. So it's a lot of fingers on the pulse, knowing how to grow the stuff. Like I say, being able to grow it in capacity to where you're able to sell it and make money from it. It can be hard. Like hats off to farmers. Hats off to farmers, because that's one of those jobs that people just kind of take for granted and think it's a lowbrow job. That shit is a hard job, Jack. That's a hard job. It's not even a job. That shit is a commitment and a calling. Because it's no glory in it. It's day after day, week after week, month after month, the same shit every day to make it work. And if you slack off or you stop doing it or you're not putting yourself into it, then you will lose crops and your business will fail. It's a hard business. So, I mean, Janelle, she says she's into it. She's into it. I'm not hating on her. I'm just, and I guess maybe it's coming from me. I warn about that all the time. Sometimes when you tell people what your dream is, they run it through the filter of whether I could do it as opposed to whether you could do it. And I make my decision based on that. And looking at this, I'm running Tieta Farms through my filter as to whether I could do it, I couldn't do it. So maybe that's why I'm poo-pooing on it. I'm going to be honest. Be honest with yourself. I say that shit all the time. Hold yourself accountable. Let's see. Athena Minerva said, I know you are Athena Minerva with the big L on you. Lisa, imagine a flower farm that is subject to the weather, soil conditions, anything and everything can cause you to lose your money the whole year. Yeah, you can get wiped out. Like, and that's the thing too, because farms and ranches, they run thin margins, Jack. Farms, ranches, restaurants run thin margins. Like, you could be up like a champ for years, have one bad year, and you got a sign on your lawn. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like I said, these farmers, man, you got to give it to them. You got to take your hats off to them. That's a hard business. And I'm sitting down there eating fruit like a fool. Like, I've been eating, since I wasn't feeling well. I had a bout where I wasn't able to, just wasn't eating a lot. And so I wasn't eating any sugar, processed sugar. And so when I started eating again, eating like more consistently, one of my, to satiate my sweet tooth, I've been eating a lot of fruit, which is better for you. Hands down, it's better for you. Sometimes the Lord works in mysterious ways. So I've been eating a lot of fruit because I can't stomach I just can't get back. Once you're away from processed sugar for a little while, it's hard to get back onto it. It's just, I've always found that, like, anytime I've taken time away from, like, I don't drink soda or anything like that. So, like, if I take time away from, like, processed sugars, cookies, cakes, candy, that kind of thing, excuse me, it takes a little bit of kind of a ramp up for me to get used to doing it again. Like, so I have to tolerate it in order for me to do it. But yeah, I'm sitting there eating my little oranges and apples and grapes and stuff. I had some grapes today. It's like, these shits is delicious, you know. And I'm so thankful to the farmers because I love my fruits. I'm so thankful to the farmers because they doing a job I don't think I can do. I can stand out there in the heat, be pulling no damn trees. You know what I mean? But they get their shit done. And when they pull it off, it's delicious. Ty said, I hope it's not our only means of income. I don't know. I think it kind of it sounded like they were sliding chips over there to go all in on it. So I don't know. TLCs said, TLCs said, I have a green thumb with a leafy plant, but a black thumb when it comes to a flowering plant. Man, she killing the whole ground up. She's like, I ain't. Oh, okay. Daisy Reyes. So James, where do you see the show heading in the next 2 years? At some point, I think the plot points that they're going to try to push on us are going to be the family reunion. They're going to try to push that heavy as a way to try to save the show. You know, we all need to get together, maybe go on a vacation, and they'll keep trying to run that over and over again, run that play over and over again. That might even be something they do this season. You know, we try to get everybody all in, and we're all going to go to stay at one of Christine's bed and breakfasts, and we're going to go out and drive with Cody and David and see how they're making out and have them have an argument or whatever the case may be. So that'll be like a big major plot point for them. I can also see them doing trying to do weddings with Brody and Aurora. So it's just, but these are things, to be honest with you, because they're so forced and fake, I don't really have any interest in seeing it. Because a reunion show would make no sense to me. Not at this point. Because why would you, like, if you said that Cody mistreated you and he was jacking you up and he was treating you all terrible, why would you race to try to get back to him and hang out with his ass? Him and Robin. You know, they got young kids. And then Christine, like, you're just coming off of basically trying to force him to see your daughter. And you guys are going to get together so you can sit there and watch him with his new family and his young kids hanging all over him like a monkey bar. Well, every time you try to talk to him, you got one of them kids hanging off his shoulders and hugging his legs and shit. And your daughter is sitting there watching it. Like, that's where I would be like, and that's where I say it goes beyond just, you know, the uncomfortableness and the drama of a show. And it goes into a dangerous place for me. Because you're impacting you would be impacting Truly at that point. Because she doesn't have that relationship with Cody. And so you're going to make her watch it? Like, so I think that would be too much. So I think that for me, that part of it would have a propensity to backfire. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see anything that's really interesting. I don't think they're interesting. And I'm going to be honest. I just don't think they're interesting by themselves. And I don't think it's natural for them to be together. So I don't know where they would go. You know, if that makes sense. I live Feeling nervous that where you see the show in 2 seasons canceled, probably. Nicole Aggie said, I could kill a cactus. Damn. Cactus can survive in the desert. Nicole Aggie said, I could kill a cactus. That's a superpower. You like the, what is that? Poison Ivy from Batman? You got the opposite powers. You're arch nemesis. I live in an area of snow, so gardening fruits is iffy. Farmers markets are super expensive as well. Yeah. I have, well, we get snow too. I just like if I can find some good ripe fruit, I'm at least recently, I'm a happy dude. Happy dude. I mean, you have to watch the sugars like the fructose, I guess, but that fructose is better for you than the processed. Kill a cactus. That's awesome. I can kill a cactus. Succession. I have the one potted plant that was my mom's. It has to be 16 years old by now, and will go down to one leaf, then spring back a few leaves. Doesn't die. I call it my Jurassic plant. Just holding on. Uh-oh. Cairo. Welcome to the show, Cairo. Said maybe she will connect it to a wellness farm for her BS life coaching. Get people to pay her to let them farm, start her own little cult commune. Let the flower raise you. We shall worship the head of lettuce. They have like little corny songs. They're like remixes from the 80s. Iceberg lettuce, sorry, matande. It's just anything that sounds like foreign. Making words up. I'm heading to the buffet. Kill a cactus. That's awesome. What do you think of funeral flowers? Funeral flowers, like wedding flowers. I'm gonna say this. That's what I was talking about earlier. They are an excellent source of revenue. If you can become that person, like I know somebody who had a flower business. Him and his family, like they have been around for a long time, and they were well established in a township. And he had like insane, like by the time he got done, like he had purchased like additional properties and all kinds of stuff. Like, because they were making money hand over fist doing wedding and funeral stuff, wedding, funeral, graduations, and things like that, like big events. So you can make your money. The problem, like I said, the problem with that is that has to be guaranteed. Like you have to deliver. And people are very specific in particular when it comes to wedding flowers, funerals, proms, things of that nature that are like life events. Very particular. So you can't show up with no half wilted shit talking about, we got a little bit of weather. They ain't even trying to hear it. But I mean, that's a good point. I think that would be a fantastic source of revenue if you can get it. Great business if you can get it. But yeah. I promised my son a few days ago we would start a daily walk. So far, I said no every day. He's 40, so not a baby, but guilt for not walking yet. LOL. Gonna try mañana. Yeah, the hardest part of start, working out. Starting a plan is starting a plan. Just doing it. Because once you get, the whole thing is that once you get going doing it, it sucks the first week, 2 weeks. After the second week, it starts to become more of a norm. By the third, fourth week, it starts to develop more into a habit. And then after that, it's pretty much just what you do. But it's just a matter of the hardest part is starting. And I think deep down, most people realize that. And that's why it's so hard for them to start, because they if I start doing this shit, I'm going to keep doing it. But yeah, if you just go, just go. Don't even think about it. Just, all right, let's go. See, Mary Mama Lejo said Robin knew full well what she was doing was wrong, unfair of time and money. Wrong is still wrong. Cult or no cult. I agree with that. But don't let them take advantage of you either, baby girl. That's what I'm saying. Robin came in, she had her eyes full, be like, nope. Nope. Lorena Jaro said, James was so funny, rock the Casbah. My husband and I having fun listening to you. Okay. Salute to the husbands. Thank you so much. Oh, what's this? We had a super chat. Darlene Hall with the $2 super chat said, James answers poverty. Surprise, surprise. I guess that was in response to why they keep doing the show. Yeah, why they keep doing the show. Because being broke sucks. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to keep it all the way a buck. Being broke sucks. When you got bills to pay, you're I don't know how I'm going to pay this shit. Or we're going to put you on a show and we just going to basically have you doing nothing, making an ass of yourself. Are you going to do it?
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
Of course I'm going to do that show. You crazy? It's going to pay for me a house, a car, put my kids through college. Oh, but you going to be looking like a clown. You going to be looking like a fool.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Yeah, I might be looking like a fool, but at the end of the day, my bills is paid. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where they at. I think that's what 100% where they're at. Come on, dog. Come on, man. My bills is paid. What do you want me to do? Not take this money? They're going to keep making you look stupid. I don't care. Look stupid in my job anyway. Might also get paid well for it. Oh, man. They trying to say they gonna shut that shit down. They ain't even playing with that. What is this? Airbnb is an online marketplace and app that connects travelers with homeowners looking to rent out their spaces, ranging from private rooms to entire houses, apartments. Yeah, I think Jody had asked why Airbnb rather than a hotel. Depending if you want privacy, there are things you could do at an Airbnb that you can't do necessarily at a hotel. For instance, if they have if you have a really nice one and they have barbecue pits and things of that nature, then it would be you have access to amenities that you might not have at a hotel. There's also the privacy factor. You don't necessarily have the same restrictions. It could be cheaper depending on how many, because the Airbnb, for the most part, is price related. So basically, whatever it costs to rent the apartment, the house, or whatever it is, that's the cost. When you go to a hotel, you pay for additional guests. And so that might be another reason as to why you would do an Airbnb versus a hotel. I mean, I'm sure there are other reasons, but let's see. Darlene Hall with a $2 super chat said, I had 70 plans 2 years ago. Half now. 35 plans ain't bad. Shit. That's still a lot of plans. That's still a lot of plans. Thank you so much. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. So my husband watched Sister Wives with me until a few things happened with the kids, and he quit watching before I did. It just really disappointed him. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because it is sometimes a little hard to watch. ATP, anyone still singing money into any of these grifters needs a CT scan. These people are money hungry and liars. Anyone still believe in anything they trying to say is sus. From Sister Megatron, say, don't you believe it? Don't you believe it? Well, Tom and Jerry. What's this? Megatron, when you saw Tidal Farms, how much of that land was farmable? Yeah, not only do I want no flowers when it's my time, but just donate to a no-kill shelter. I'm probably going to have my body donated to science. Yeah, I like the no-kill shelters too. And you know what? Let me do a quick thing. Because even speaking about like no-kill shelters, I know they have a thing during the holidays where, at least up here, they had a whole thing where they stopped pushing animal adoptions around the holidays. One of the things I always encourage is when it comes to like pet adoptions, because you know people have kids and I'm gonna get them a dog, I'm gonna get them a cat, or blah blah blah. Cats and dogs, breeds and species, have specific personality traits, which sometimes can be linked. Now, it's not 100% guaranteed. It's not perfect. But there's certain animals that just understanding what the needs of that particular animal are can help to alleviate a lot of pain and a lot of heartbreak later on. Like, for instance, if you live in a small house or an apartment and you don't have a lot of room, don't go out and get a Belgian Malinois. Right? You don't like doing outdoor shit. You don't like running up and down steps. You don't like, you don't have time to go out and play with this dog, to wear it out mentally and physically and have it doing all kinds of training exercises. Don't get a dog with high energy output. Don't get a dog that's like a working dog. Get a dog that suits your personality. Same thing with cats. There are cats that are, cool with just sitting around the house, sitting on a couch. There are cats that are very active, understanding what your limitations are, as far as animals are concerned. Certain animals, especially when it comes to dogs, certain dogs need a strong leader. So they need somebody who can guide them and deal with them patiently and everything else. It's not always about like how cool a dog looks or, this dog looks like a Billy Badass mean dog and I want it because it's scary looking, and you go out and buy a damn tank and you don't train it, you don't spend time with it, and then you put it on the block, and next thing you know, this thing is trying to eat everything that walk past your property. And then you want to take the dog and donate it or give it away or try to put it in a pound or a shelter. It's not fair to the animal, and in some respects it's not fair to the next person who tries to take on that animal, because if a dog, especially dogs, cats, animals, they will pair bond with you, they'll lock on you. And so it's unfair that you if you have to give it away because maybe financial situations, I understand that, situations change, I get it, but I'm always very hesitant about people when they say, "Oh, I'm going to go get a cat or a dog." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I thought you how many cats do you have? I thought you had a bunch of cats." No, I gave them away. So why are you getting more? You don't like cats. Recognize too, like if you're a person that likes kittens or puppies, don't go to the they have SPCA or different places like that. They have shelters. They have days where you can go in and play with animals. If that's all you want to do is pet an animal, go on one of them days. They have times you can go in there and read them books and shit, and you could pet them and play with them and stuff. And you take your ass home when you get tired of dealing with it, right? But if it's not for you, just recognize that about yourself. Do yourself and everybody else a favor, because it's rough when you have because it's heartbreaking when you hear like people who will get a dog or a cat when they're puppies or kittens, raise them up, and then all of a sudden, like, all right, we're done. And it creates problems for, like I said, it creates problems or and issues with the animals, even when they get adopted, if they're fortunate enough to get adopted by a new home, get rehoused. That can create trust issues between them and their new people. Their new people custodians. So that's just my little, I'm sorry, but that's one of my little things. It's just animals are I don't want to make too much of it, like, oh, you're like kids, but it's a privilege to have animals, and it's there's a dog I wanted to get, and I was like, well, I don't have the time to give to the dog that I know will require a certain amount of time. And if I can't give them the dog the kind of time that I want to give it in order for me to be able to do the dog right, then I just don't get the dog. And that's for me, because I've been dreaming about this one breed of dog. I've been dreaming about this dog for about 3 years now, 3-4 years maybe. But if you can't do it, just don't do it. Like, you don't have the space, or like, for me, it's not even so much a space or time. It's just that I'd have to be able to like spend a lot of time training it and dealing with it, just getting it acclimated to being in the house and doing what I needed to do. Especially, and I say this for sure, especially if you get an aggressive type animal, a dog that's, a dog or a cat, because cats too, they can be serious business. But if you just recognize the breed that you're getting, do some research. And sometimes the breed that you gotta have your heart set on because you see it on Facebook and Instagram, like, it looks really cool. And you do some research and be like, okay, this is not the dog for me, or this is not the cat for me. I don't have this kind of time, and I don't want nothing that's gonna eat my furniture. You know what I mean? Some of these dogs were Rotties, Rottweilers, Cane Corsos, Presa Canarios, Dogo Argentos, like, you know what I mean? You fuck around. You mess around, you ain't training these dogs, you ain't doing nothing with them. You come back, you ain't got nothing but toothpicks. You got shit toothpick piles all over your house because this dog that ate all your furniture. Athena Minerva asked, what dog? I wanted a Cane Corso. on a Corso. Before I had my daughter's dog. I say it's my daughter's dog, bro. You know how it is. Like your kids go to the pet store. She went to the pet store after after daycare one day because we had her in a little daycare. And my wife called me up talking about, oh, Jayla went to the pet store with the little daycare, and she saw a dog. She wanted me to go back and look at it, and they went back and looked at it, and they want me to go and look at it because she was so pressed about it. Because I was talking about getting a dog. I think at that time I was going to get a boxer or something, and she was like, want me to go look at it. I went and looked at that dog. Dog was cute. It was strong. I had her brother there, and I didn't like the place that the dog was in, so we wound up adopting it or buying a dog, and it was a Australian cattle dog, Old English bulldog mix. Beautiful dog. It was had the white of a bulldog, like the thick frame, but it was tall because of the Australian cattle dog mix, and it had like a kind of like that fawn undercoat. Beautiful dog. Had that dog for a lot of years. Passed away. She got real bad. I had to put her to sleep. But after that, I was like, I'm gonna get a Cane Corso. I've been dreaming about that dog, but I'm like, that dog is it's a serious dog. It's a serious animal. So if it's not trained right, if it's not socialized right, like that dog can do a lot of damage. So it's not, and that's the thing too. It's not just for the safety of your home, but you also have to think about your neighbors and things like that. And if you don't have the right to do, you don't have the right time, energy levels, space, skill level to train a dog or spend time with it, then it's just not, it's not worth the risk. That's where I'm at. And I say that like even with like pit bulls, they get a bad reputation. Pit bulls are actually pretty good dogs. Loyal dogs, they get a bad reputation because they have shit owners a lot of the time. They just have really shitty owners. And then you're training a aggressive dog to be aggressive, and then you wonder why it's just trying to eat everything. Because pit bulls are built different. Like pit bulls and like even the American bulldog terriers built a little different. Like for instance, if you have a German Shepherd will protect property. Like it will survey the property and it will protect the property 100%. German Shepherds, great security dogs. A pit bull is tied into its owner, so it will protect the owner. So it's very keyed into how owners feel about stuff. If you're an upsettable type person, like you have a volatile personality, pit bulls can be very, very volatile based on your personality because they just feel like you're upset about something and they're very protective. So they're like, oh, you mad? What are you mad about? You mad about this? They try to get everything. And that's why pit bulls get bad reputations, but they're not bad dogs. They just you have to take your time to train them. But again, those are the type of dogs that people run out and get them because they look cool, they look thick, and they try to get the biggest, baddest one they can get. And then the dog, they get the biggest, baddest one they can get. They don't spend no time with it. Next thing you know, you got a dangerous ass animal in the house. And then you're trying to take it to the shelter and give it away. And then when they get the dog in the shelter, and speaking of TLCs, like the no-kill shelters, some of these places they get the dog, be like, oh, he just tried to snap at who, or it doesn't have a temperament for what, and they'll put that mug right on the list. Knock them off. So that's why I say it's so important for you to do the research before you buy them. Sorry for the tangent, guys. Sorry for the tangent. But Megatron with the $5 super chat said, I said it here first. I give Jay Lazy ass 2 more years before she bails on Ted Farms and sell all because of but a few acres her house sits on, and Brisley walked back to Cody. She said 2 years. Damn. She said 2 years. Paint ain't even dry on the house good. House ain't even settled yet. They just built that house. Thank you, Megatron. What's this? I got guard dogs. I train myself. The owner is the best to train. Yeah. Yeah, because there's nobody between you and them. Hey, Brittany, not Brittany in the house. What's up? This is one of our sons allergic cats. If he was going to be friend's house and a cat lived there, even with a cat not around, he needed to know ahead so he could take allergy medicine or only be there a very short time. The jam, I'm gonna tell you a story. Little old town story time. I think I was allergic to cats. And I say that because when I first started, like I've been around cats before and I would get like the little itchy nose and stuff. But when I first started dating the woman who eventually became my wife, she had a bunch of cats. Like she had at least 5 cats, I think. Her and her family had 5 cats. And I used to go over there all the time and suffer through it. Eventually I got past it. And because I was never really a cat person until I met her. She had a cat that really like I used to call it, like, the cat's name was Jay, and I used to call him my cat dog because he was like a dog. Jay was like a dog, and like a whistle, he would come, like, you know what I mean? It was like we interacted with each other on that level. You know, he was a really cool cat, and so I got over it. And Jay was my dog, man. I was there when he passed away. Jay was my dog. Yeah, but he was a good cat. But, you know, I'm just saying, you know, you be like, God's good. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? I was anointed out of my allergies. Athena Minerva said the only time you rehome your pet is if you're going to die. If you don't have the money to take care of it, always get pet insurance when you get a fur baby. Also, volunteer to take them for walks. Yeah. Insurance helps. Because I remember when that's my daughter's dog, Rainbow. Yeah, I know. Imagine that shit, right? When her dog, my dog, I guess technically, when Rain got sick, it was like she started experiencing probably like dysplasia in her spine, and it was terrible. And we had some insurance for that, but like I've seen where cats have developed like diabetes and cancer and all kinds of stuff. So you just want to make sure, you know, you're able to do it if it makes sense. And that's one of the things too, is that like I was explaining when it came time for us to make the decision as to what to do or move forward. You know, one of the hardest parts of being a custodian of an animal is recognizing that you have to make the decision, because animals are so loyal, they'll stay as long as you want them to stay. But you have to make the decision that is it worth it to them? You know, am I keeping you around for you, or am I keeping you around to make me feel better? You know, and that's kind of where I was with our dog when I had to make that choice, is because she was in so much pain, it was crazy. And there was nothing we could do. Like, okay, we talked about surgery, we talked about the operations, but by the time we got finished, and the doctor was like, look, we could do the surgeries. I could take your money It'll cost a lot of money. You know, you got the insurance. We could do this. And I'm telling you right now that she's either going to be the same or worse when she do the surgery. Like, so all the pain she's in now, it's not going to get better. It's going to be way worse. And you're just at the beginning of it. And she was already in terrible pain. And I couldn't sit there and watch her just go through that. So, but yeah. Like, I've been watching my fur babies, a petite, Great Dane and Golden Noodle, Golden Doodle rather, and his work. Yeah, Great Dane's a big ass dog. That was also one of the ones I wanted. I did want a Great Dane at one point. I heard they have like as a breed. I heard they have bad hip dysplasia, and sometimes they get elbow issues. So that was the only thing that kind of made me nervous about them. Waldo's mom. Excellent advice, James, on people going to a shelter or rescue to place a few times a month just to love on them. Better than to bring a pet home when you know deep down you can't give it proper care. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just being honest with yourself. If you recognize that you don't, like, for instance, you know, everybody wants a dog when it's nice out. Everybody wants a dog when it's sunny time out. Summertime. And you out there walking around, you know, got your tank top on, looking all fine and sexy, got your dog with you, out there walking and sucking up them rays. Yeah, that's not when you got to worry about taking dogs for walks. It's when it's raining like shit, it's cold as hell, it's snowing. Dogs still got to go out. Dogs still got to go out. So yeah, I mean, and you get to, and like I said, if you go to some of the shelters and stuff, that and volunteering there, those are important things too, because it gives the animals there some normalcy, and it can help with socialization as far as they're concerned. So it's not like you're cheating yourself. And who knows, you might go to, you might volunteer at a place and be like, this is my dog. You take the wind up adopting right out of it. Oh wow. Said Nisa had to give up her kid when she was going to chemo. It's sad that she had to go to chemo in the first place. It was awful. She developed awful allergies, and it was so sad to see her lose her little pal. Yeah. See. So we have a Bernedoodle and Love Her to the Moon and Back. What is a Bernedoodle? I never heard of one of those. Let's see. Oh wow, okay. That's a cute dog. Bernedoodle. I never heard of. I think I've seen them clearly, but oh wow. I had to put two down. Last 6 months, heartbreaking. Yeah. It's a hard choice. Hard choices. So yeah, Jody Pierce Scala, $4.99 super chat. For your information, rawhides are bad there. Our great bones called beef checks. Good at chewy. Okay. All right. That's good information. Yeah, because I was actually, because even with my my prospect. I wanted to do when I was thinking about adopting that dog. I wanted to do a raw diet for it. I was looking forward to doing that because we have like a farm that sells like a ranch not too far from me that sells like a cow quarters and parts and stuff. I was gonna do a whole. I was actually looking forward to doing it. Who knows? Maybe I'll be able to get around to it. My wife is like, no more animals, no more animals. We gonna do stuff together. We not doing this. I'm like, come on, baby. It's just a little puppy do. So I gotta get my rich up so I can I get my dog and I can travel the way I want to travel. But thank you so much, Jody Periscala. Yeah, I just, say a mountain dog. Yeah, mountain dogs are stubborn. And that's another thing. Like, that's why I say you got to do your research on these animals because some of them look like they look cool. You're like, oh, I'm going to get this, man. I want a little powerhouse joint. I want a powerhouse. And you go get one of, what is that? What's that damn? I want a big powerhouse. I want something that could just rip through steel fences and shit. Like, chew Cujo up and spit his ass out. I'm gonna give me a Kangol. Give me a Kangol and shit. Albanian Kangol. That thing is that don't play. Problem that you have with that mother, Kangols can damn near take on damn bears and shit. I mean, probably won't survive, but they're serious. You don't have any, you're not a good leader, canine leader. That thing, boy, the last thing you want is an aggressive dog or a strong-willed dog that feels like it doesn't feel comfortable with your leadership. Because if it doesn't feel comfortable with your leadership, what they're going to do is they're going to try to take over for you and start making decisions for you and the family and for themselves. And those decisions are going to go badly. They're going to go badly. They're going to be like, well, I'm just going to bite this dude, this funny looking guy carrying these packages. What's that say on his shirt? Amazon. Not today, Amazon, Next thing you know, Amazon man getting his ass chewed out, so now. You say I asked my son to get a girl. We got a Dane because I don't need 150 pounds of aggression pissed off. They don't get a treat. Just looking at you, right? Just stand at the back of your head. And you gonna give me one of them treats? Hey man, why don't you calm down, player? See, Athena Minerva said, I'm told the raw diet is the best for the dogs. Some of that kibble and high-end food is made with garbage. Nutrition is how you keep your dogs healthy. Grandma always gave the dogs fresh meat. Yeah, that's actually one of the things that, like, between the gut health and then being able to regulate, like, what it is they're eating. Like, that's at least that's what I was planning. That was my plan. Just being able to regulate what they're eating and then making decisions as far as the diet is concerned. Like, the sweet potatoes, yams, pumpkin, things like that for digestion, fish, things, eggs, stuff like that to, help with the coats. And I would get away from, by doing it that way, I would try to get away from like a lot of the processed stuff, the chemicals and things that they put into some of the supplemental dog foods. At least that's what, like I said, that was my plan. But I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to get my dog. We'll see. Keep my fingers crossed. It's still an open negotiation. But the reality of it is, quiet as kept. Shh, don't tell my wife. Quiet as kept. My wife wanted is more of a cat person. So if I get a dog, I'm gonna have to get her a cat. That's the only way I can see this even possibly happening. And we're very big on we're both very big on going down and then actually, because it's not something I don't think that I can just show up and be like, here you go with a box and like, here's your cat. Because we're very big on making sure that there's a some kind of bonding before you get it. So it's not just the breed that I'm interested in, it's also the personality, like to make sure that we have matching personality. So if I were to go down and get a dog, like somebody had offered to get me a dog before, but I was like, I don't want you just going down picking one you think is pretty. I need to be able to see the dog, interact with the dog, and then know that the dog and I have like we click. And my wife is kind of the same way when it comes to cats. So she wants to be able to, if she gets a cat, she'll want to be able to, see the cat as a kitten or, see the cat as a kitten or wherever she gets it from. She wants to make sure that they have that connection. I mean, it makes sense to people who know. If you know, you know. If you know. It's just for me, it's just one of those things where I would rather go to a place, and if there's like a pack of dogs, I'll just walk up and see which ones come up to me, which ones are how they interact with me, whether they're aggressive, whether they're more shy, what you know what I mean, and just get a feel for their personalities. That's how I would do it. It just feels like it's more of a pairing ritual as opposed to just oh yeah, I want a gray one with blue eyes. I want a black one with hazel eyes because it looks like the demon when it comes down the steps. Which one has the biggest daddy, like that kind of stuff. Like I don't think that's really the best way for me. Jody Periscala with the $9.99 super chat said, I would really like to know about your woodworking projects. Is wood expensive now? I redo tables and stuff, sanding and varnish, lots of work. Actually, one of the pieces that I was working on, and I fell sick, and then like it kind of fell to the side. But one of the pieces that I worked on, I think I want to hang a lot of them behind me, so you'll be able to see them. It's because I can do tables and I've done chairs and things like that, desks and all that. Like I did my my cabinets for my bathroom, just because when I did, story time, when I was painting my one of my bathrooms, I was like, you know what, I don't like this cabinet, and I started looking around because I wanted one of those farmhouse type sinks, and I started looking around for a cabinet to put the sink on, and most of them were either like ridiculously expensive and cheap looking, or just made with like shoddy ass material. So I built one, and that's in my bathroom. But that kind of thing I've done, but I really like the art of it. So I actually do art, or I use wood for art. But yeah, wood is expensive. Well, wood has been going up for a while now because of futures, like especially with like the tariffs and stuff that go on the wood. Right now, wood is very expensive. Not very like crazy expensive, but it's pricier. It's pricey. But yeah, like it like it's tables. Like I've redone like refinished like chairs and rocking chairs and furniture as well. because my wife, she was for a bit, she was like, you know, we could do this and you could refurnish some things for me. I'll get rid of it, sell it. You know, so I refurnished some stuff and she sold it on like Facebook and all that, but marketplace. But yeah, it's relaxing. Like I really didn't get into woodworking until after my cousin passed away. Because the cousin that was a carpenter, talked about him before. And then it was kind of like for me, it was kind of a hats off to him to do that. So, but it's fun. It's kind of like local arts witch. She has the talent. Local arts witch. We have a lot of talented people in the group, but she has a talent to do these. She makes these dolls, and they're incredible. Like these dolls are incredible. I could never do it. I'm in awe every time she was working on one yesterday, and I was like, that doll is dope. I didn't even get a chance to say. I slipped my mind to say something to her about it, but I was like, that doll is dope. Like that shit is nice. But like we had talked about that before, and one of the struggles when you make things or do things like that is that you know how much time goes into it, you know how much energy, effort, skill goes into a thing, and the people who usually receive it don't necessarily appreciate it. I remember I did a sign for, you know, when people get married, they have like these wooden signs or whatever. I did a wooden sign for somebody, and they appreciated it, but you could tell it was like, you know, all right. But the sign I did and the flourishes I put on it and everything, that sign was probably about if she would have went to a place to get that sign made, it was about a $500 sign. Right, right. But she thought that shit was like $20 or $100, like anywhere from $20 to $100, maybe on the outside if she went crazy. But it was a $500 sign, easy. You know what I mean? But I didn't charge her, and the crazy part is I didn't charge her anything for it. I just did it. You know, hey, you know, have a good wedding or whatever. But yeah. So it's just, you know, that's the weird part about it when you try to give it to somebody. Like, oh, thanks. Yeah, that's nice. It's not real until they talk to some stranger and he's like, yeah, that's $50,000. Then all of a sudden, it's amazing. Got it for cheap, low price of $50,000. James could have did it for free. Yeah, but it would have been cheap. So yeah. Well, all right, Jody Periscott, I want to see some of your pieces. How about that? It's just, somebody said, I'm sure you put. Oh, where's my thing at? So James Joey stands at the cabinet and smiles. Then I give her a treat. Oh, she knows who the wuss is in the house. Yeah, they know who the soft touch is. They for sure. They know who the soft touch is. Yeah, right now we have a cat. And which isn't fair because my wife has a cat in the house and I don't have a dog. Imagine that. And that cat will wake everybody in the house up but me. When it's the morning time, like I want to get something to eat. My son is usually really good about feeding her. And she'll whine and yell and all that. And my wife be like, did the cat eat? You know, because she's trying to soft touch to get 2 meals out of everybody. And my wife had mentioned to me before, she's like, you know, that cat don't never say nothing to you. I was like, damn right, because you know I ain't gonna do it. Because I know she ate. I'm good. Like she don't mess with me because we have an understanding. She come to you because you the soft touch. She look at you twice and you get second guessing it, you know? So yeah, the animals know. They telling your ass too. You need to take your wife on a dream vacay, yeah, right? Say, turn on the charm, James. Turn on the charm. Yeah, there you go. Some good advice. Pets are not gifts. Do not buy them for others. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it just usually for me, it works better when you pick your own. You know, it's always worked better for me when I pick my own. Because like I said, there's certain things, and I can't explain it. It's not like, if the dog taps my shoe 3 times, I know it's my dog. Like it's just something about it. Like you could feel a connection between you and the animal. Tina Minerva said, if you put that doll on the channel, I'm sure Robin will reach out to her. Yeah, right. I'll give you $50,000 for it. All right. Does she come with any outfits? Yeah, and that's the one thing I cannot, like. I guess I don't know whether I can or I can't, but like knitting, sewing, I can do. I can sew and I can stitch. But like knitting, my mom could do it. She was good at like blankets and all that stuff, but it's just I've just never gotten into it. Always been impressed by it though. Cairo said, husband fed the crazy cat at 4 a.m. once when he went to work early, and every morning since 4 a.m. on the dot, he will yowl till he gets up to feed him. That's why you don't do that shit. That's why you don't do that. Because the second you do that, they be like, oh, got him. Next thing you know, you can't even pretend that you can. You know what I mean? You can't even pretend that you're not even going to mess with them at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's our time now. This is our time together. Why are you hating on our time, sir? You got to say no. You got to be firm too. Like, no, hell no. Hell no. You wait. If you got to wait till I get back from work, then that's what's got to happen. What's crazy is if you would have fed him after he got back from work, like, you leave at like 4 o'clock in the morning, he get home at 2, 3 o'clock, and you would have fed him there. That cat wouldn't be like, okay, I guess the time is 3 o'clock in the afternoon now. Nope. You got to taste it at 4 a.m. She was like, oh, it's like still dark outside. I feel like a predator. I feel like a lion. Next thing you know, my man was singing Duran Duran, hungry like the wolf. He out there like he on the Serengeti. You know what I mean? Like he doing some shit at 4 o'clock in the morning. He got a full-time job. I'm taking down these cans, son. It's crazy. Oh, you got hurricane winds? Oh, you up on the islands though. You're on the island. Yeah. Social circles. What is this? Meek, welcome to the show, Meek. Say, listen to OG3 must not realize in a lot of places in social circles, calling someone a liar and a thief is a good way to get your head rocked. Hello, Cody and Robin saying that mess is disrespectful. Yeah. I said the same thing, Meek. I was like, you can call me a lot of shit, asshole, MF all day. You be like, he be stealing. What? What? Hell no. Oh, let me do the oh, What sold? Yeah, anything but a thief and a liar. Telling you. Because you know what my mama used to say. If they lie, they steal, and if they steal, they kill. So, you know, them crimes of moral turpitude. No, thank you. Oh, just so we for reference, should the cast of Sister Wives take additional steps to out the evils of polygamy? Survey says 12% of you said no. A resounding 88% of you said yes, though. Yeah. Yeah, I think they kind of owe it. I think they owe it. Brittany, not Brittany in the house. Lizzie B with a $5 super cheat on a Mega Mod Squad in the house. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'll send you an email with some ideas, James. Please be on the lookout. I will. Everyone, please remember to hit that like button for this live stream. Yes, please. Oh, wait. Hold on 1 second. Why is that not working? There we go. Gotta give you a little something. Get ready to wrap this bad boy up. Brittany, not Brittany. Exactly, because Robin would have been off my porch voluntarily or involuntarily. Yeah. Especially you gonna look me in the face. That's a lie. Yeah, I remember them days, boy. Chapter, season 17. She'd have been like, that's a lie. Them. I hope that the camera crew got their sneakers on. Because I'd have been out that chair. And we would, it would have been so quick. That's the shit too. It would have been so quick. We both would have been surprised. Yeah, that's what I mean. It would have happened so fast. We both would have been surprised. What happened, James? I don't know. She looked me in the face and said, that's a lie. And that's all I remember. And the next thing you know, Tom and Frank, Lewis, and Charles was pulling me off and saying she had enough. That's what they kept screaming. And I don't know what happened after that. I think I went crazy. That's it. I don't know, man. Because she said that shit with bass in her voice too. Like, what? Like, she not even guessing. Like, oh, I'm just going to say this and you going to take it. Oh, no. Allow me to retort. Like, you almost made me forget who I was. Brittany, not Brittany. Full blown. This is Sparta. Straight to the chest. That's what I'm talking about. This is Sparta. Waka! Cody ass would have been crying for real. You never tried to have a relationship with these people. Then you kick my wife in the damn chest. She walking around with footprints on her shirt. I'm like, oh, you gonna talk shit too? You catching a matching set. Bow, right, catch his ass wrong too. Could keep talking shit. I'm gonna kick your ass right through that window. I don't know. I'll tell you, I'll be barred from wearing work boots right now. They're like, James cannot. The only way we could get them together is if James wear open-toed shoes, flip-flops or something. Because he just be kicking people in the chest. He ain't talking shit. He kick them in the chest. That shit was crazy. And I know everybody's face fell off when she said that. You know what I mean? Everybody, what? Because she said that shit. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Disagreeing with me is one thing. But how you gonna tell me about my shit? And you gonna sit there and pretend like you don't understand, like I don't know what's going on in their relationships. Well, we were having a bad time in our relationships. No, you weren't, you liar. Excuse me? How you gonna tell me what my relationship was doing? This is Sparta. Like, you know what I mean? All day. Brittany not Brittany with the $4.99 super chat. Said, done lost your damn mind. Talk anyway, but real nice to me. On property, you don't pay a single bit at all. Bill at all. Okay, I'm done. yeah. Like, you ain't paying shit over this way. You ain't even paying attention because I've been telling you that it's jacked up. And you gonna sit up there and call me a liar? Oh shit. And Christine, she just had to too nice. Too nice. Especially like and the crazy part is, real talk, there's certain people, and I don't want to sound like a maniac. I don't, but you know, there's certain people you might disagree with, and you say to yourself, but for, and I'm gonna call them the but fors, but for the fact that I'm still trying to be cool, like in Christine's case, she's still trying to be cool with Cody, so she holds back. When Robin say shit, she hold back. She don't say nothing. So, but for the fact that you with Cody, I'd be on your ass like a cheap suit, right? Now, when she's saying she's selling the house, she's done with Cody, she's selling the house. You do realize that all your immunity just walked out the door. You are like, you sit on my porch saying some wild shit. You are not safe. You are not okay. You are not protected. And that's why I think that breakdown kind of was like, what, whoa for me. Because, like if Christine was still trying to get with Cody and Robin is important to Cody, you realize that if she would have jumped up and slap kicked the shit out of sidekick Robin ass off the porch, that Cody would have been pissed. But if Christine no longer cares what Cody thinks, then Christine, Robin could have caught a hot one up on that. She could have caught a hot one. She could have fucked around and caught them hands. So I don't know. Like, you are operating with some with an immunity card that no longer exists. Your immunity card has already been played. So, and like Brittany said, like, what you're not going to do is be at my house saying some disrespectful shit to me on my porch and I'm paying for. That's crazy. And I'm not even saying you got to, you got a switch kicker. I'm just saying it, cuss ass out. And if Cody got a problem with it, like, you know what? You need to get up off my porch, blah, 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 run the riot act. And then Cody be like, you can't talk to her like that. Well, you know what, bitch? You can go to. You can turn on your hips and slide your ass in your car and get off my steps too. I ain't playing with none of y'all. Like, and if anybody else got a problem, you can hit the bricks too. Don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split you. But that's crazy to me. But thank you so much, Brittany. Said then fast forward to Janelle letting them call her a thief for the last 3 seasons. Girl, like, yeah, I know. Like, you and what you're not gonna do is say I'm stealing when you stealing. You blaming me for the shit you stole? No. We setting that record straight. And even Megatron was like, couldn't and wouldn't be this woman here. Yeah, buddy. You know, like, I can see a situation where somebody get up there and be like, I'm going to say this, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to slam the paper down, I'm going to walk off, and I'm going to look like a boss. That shit is not going to go like you planned. It is not going to go like you planned. Like, it's going to be a long way off that porch. Like, you know what I mean? You're a long way off that porch. That's a lot. That's a lot. And these women, they just take that shit. I give them credit. They just take it on the chin. You had a Megatron with the $2 super charge. Megatron in the house. The way my right jab set up couldn't be me. I'll tell you, everybody would have been surprised on that joint. I'd have been surprised. Cody been surprised. Robin damn sure would have been surprised. You know what I mean? I thought I had invulnerability. Nope. You know? And like equal rights and equal lefts. Equal rights and equal fights, because that shit. What? You're a liar. That's a lie. And she said that shit strong too. Oh, I still remember that. That's a lie. And he said, okay, give an example. Well, I remember Janelle. Well, I'm not Janelle, asshole. Tell me how I'm lying about my shit. And if you can't, keep your mouth closed. You know what I'm saying? Do you ever pick up your teeth with broken fingers? Stop talking shit. Like, stay in your lane. You know what I mean? Because you don't look, crybaby. You don't want to sit up here and start no shit this way. I don't know why you're doing it to yourself. That is crazy. I don't know. I'm going crazy on that. But thank you so much, Megatron. It says, Wendy, OG3 are far too boring to ever tell anyone off. All 5 adults are dull as F. Yeah. That's another thing, because if they had it in them, there's plenty of ample times when that side of them could have came out. And they could have lit into them like crazy. You know, they had opportunities. Athena Minerva. Polygamy. You pay for everything, raise your kids by yourself, and pull your money to pay for the D. No, say no. Say thank you, y'all. I'll pass. I'll pass on that. I'm saying you can do bad by yourself. If you just want to, let's be honest. And I'm not gonna say every woman, but most women, if they just want to do the slide through every once in a while, they paying their bills, they taking care of their shit, and they just want to do it every now and again to slide through and just, rotate their tires for them real quick, they could set that up. Most women have a friend that, that guy has been in the friend zone forever, that's been wanting to get at it. And he'll do whatever. But that's all polygamy seems like it is to me. Like, it's just, you just got a side dude who come through every once in a while, spank and drive, and then he out. Like, you could have that and not have to worry about, some fool trying to talk about you owe him half your money. Or you got to beg him to do some shit. Does y'all remember that episode of Las Vegas when they rented that house? Cody sent boys to help Robin and everyone else. And they got pissed when Mary wasn't ready. Right? That's Cody. Well, because Mary was always just like, Mary was never going to do anything right anyway. So she was just always stuck. She was stuck. The whipping post. About that. But yeah, guys, that's my show for tonight. I didn't have anything really planned. Just because, like I said, I have to I think moving forward. I'm gonna take a little step away from Sister Wives. Like I'm still gonna talk about it, but it's not gonna be as much of a focus on the channel as it has been historically, just because like it's the show itself is not it's not delivering as promised. One, two. I think it's just time that we explore other things. So check me out on Tuesday. We have the call-in show. I will have additional videos. I'm going to get back into producing standalone videos, which will appear on My Take on Reality. The lives will be on My Take on Reality live stream. So yeah, I think that's where we are. Like it was fun talking about Sister Wives, but I kind of figured tonight, low key tonight would kind of be my not closing of Sister Wives, but just like I'm just moving on. I'm not gonna not talk about Sister Wives, like I'll still talk about it, but it's like I said, it's just not gonna be a focus of the channel. And I promised earlier, I had something to reveal. Like when Push Him Down and Shove, I was looking at like the money I was putting out towards like the streaming networks and all that. And recently, like based on what they have coming out, unless they do something miraculous and crazy entertaining as a prospect for next season, I will not renew my TLC so I can watch the early first release episode on Sunday. If anything, I'll watch the episode when it comes out and just get a cheaper streaming network and watch it when it comes out on Monday. Because they like that last season was just like I was paying so much money to watch them talk about nothing. And they were talking about shit that happened like 15 years ago. They were talking about when they first got married, when they first met. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, we doing rewinds of the rewatches. Like, what are we doing? Like, you guys don't give a shit. Like, so if you're not going to respect me enough to respect the fact that we're making the sacrifices to buy these channels and sit down and watch them, then what am I spending my money for? You know, what am I spending my money for? I did have did want to do a review of, like, there's a expose on a manosphere, because I've been hitting those manosphere talking points and talking about them, especially with Cody introducing it to to the sister wife lexicon. So I think I might do it. I'm gonna watch that. It's a documentary done by Louis Theroux on a manosphere, and it's on Netflix. I'm gonna watch that and see if there's any good information or things to talk about with that. So, that might be something that's interesting. Because it's such a I just think it's one of those things that's so pervasive that it appears in many different forms and iterations. They had an opportunity for an explosion of this ideology during the COVID time when people were kind of locked in a house and guys were feeling lonely and by themselves, and they were more vulnerable to the toxicity of the ideas being presented to them. And I think that it helps to kind of drag it into the light so we can actually explore it and talk about it. So it's the show is called Inside the Manosphere on Netflix. So I was thinking about doing that. But we had Lizzie B gifted One My Take on Reality membership. So hopefully you guys check us out on Saturday. We have the the conversations, the Saturday morning conversations, which actually are really good conversations. Sometimes they deal with sister wives. A lot of times they deal with so much more. So thank you so much, Lizzie B. Let me give you a little something. Said Brittany said the amount of manosphere ideology I had to listen to on dates before I met my husband. Crying emojis. I'm sure that was a pleasure. And that's one of the things that I think is important too, is that, you know, a lot of times I think with some of these negative attributes, it's easy to make the argument that, oh, we're not going to really pay attention to it, or we're not going to shine any light on it because it's just going to make it stronger. The thing with the manosphere, I want to be very clear about this. The thing with the manosphere, none of this shit is new. None of this is new. This is all repackaged, repurposed, and presented on more of a modern platform because it's on streaming networks and so on and so forth. But none of this ideology is new. Most of the shit that they're talking about on a lot of these principles from the manosphere are things that you can find in the polygamy handbooks, in the AUB, in the FLDS, in the Kingston group, in the LeBaron group, in groups that rely and subside on patriarchy as a means of oppression towards their members and people who are part of their group. So when we say that we have to, this is an opportunity to look at it, it's just looking at it from the respect of, this is the new presentation of this same old idea. Let's start knocking down this idea and meeting young people where they are to have these conversations that we need to have so that we can combat these ideologies from the root before they have an opportunity to germinate and actually take hold to some of these young men's minds. And the sad part is that if a young man was to listen to this bullshit, or a young lady was to listen to this and subscribe to it, the reality of it is that as much as when you sit in the echo chamber, you feel powerful and you feel strong and you feel like the Lord of your mana and the master of your universe, the truth of the matter is if you listen to these assholes, you will die alone. Because the advice that they give you is so bad, is so toxic, and it just flat out does not work for human interactions, actual living human being interactions. It works great if you are in some kind of alternate universe where you're trapped in a place where, in a dimension you're trapped in, is basically an adult film, or some kind of ridiculous situation like that, where nobody is walking around with any real autonomy. Then yeah, I mean the shit works. But if you're actually dealing with a human being, a person with feelings, thoughts, emotions, common damn sense, self-esteem, oh my goodness, if a woman has self-esteem, this shit will never work. So we have to meet them where they are. And that's kind of where I'm at. So I'll be doing that review, and I'll watch it, see what I can get from it. And then I think it'll be an interesting conversation to have. But yeah. But that's where I'm at. What was this? This one guy told me that women are meant to follow. And I said, I'm not opposed to following my husband, but I'm not going to follow you off a cliff. He said, why? If there's something at the bottom. What? Why, if there's something at the bottom? What's at the bottom of the cliff, dumbass? Except for death and destruction, asshole. That's the whole point. Like, you big dummy. You won't survive the fall. It don't matter what's down there. I want my wife submissive. And that's the other part of it too, is that just to give a little preamble to my thoughts on it. when a lot of these guys, they're filled with these ideologies that, you know, men are leaders and women are followers, and the women got to follow the men, and that's the only way these relationships work, and blah, 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 blah. Here's my thing. If you expect your wife to be submissive, you expect your wife or partner to follow you, you have to be a man, or more to the point, a leader worth following. You can't be a piece of shit dude who's only worried about his own glory and edification and expect somebody to submit to you and turn over themselves, their future, their hopes, their dreams, and invest in you when you're only worried about yourself. You can't be the type of person who lacks any leadership skills or capabilities, any foresight, any planning, any understanding of how the world works. You can't see one move ahead of yourself, forget the whole board, and you expect somebody to follow you. If you expect somebody to follow you, you have to be worth following. That's the whole thing. So before you sit there, and what's always funny to me is that they have the people who risen to power or notoriety within the manosphere are people who sit on stages and try to lecture and talk to women who are already a part of a thing which they consider to be disgusting. So you talk to OnlyFans models, Instagram models, women who do adult content in other places, or women who believe that they are they're basically gold diggers. So you spend all your time talking to these women and trying to get them and preach to them and yell at them and scream at them and holler at them and cuss them out because they're not doing the things that they need to do. When the sheer fact that you're having a conversation with these particular women that you say they were shit demonstrates the fact that you aren't the type of man that you say that you are, and that you're demanding that your followers be. Because if you were the type of man who you said you were, you wouldn't even waste your time talking to women who have already made decisions to be something that you would never date anyway. What's the point of you yelling at a woman? I only want a woman who's never been, I only want a woman who has never been with a guy, who has never slept with anybody and is walking around pure as a driven snow. And I want to sit here and have a 3-hour argument with a woman who shot a video with 1,000 dudes in one day. What the hell am I talking to her for? She's never going to be the type of person I supposedly want. And I'm never going, according to these guys, they'll never respect her. So what's the point in talking to her? The point is that you don't care about none of that, because what you find out later is most of the guys who sit there and berate them and talk shit to them wind up trying to date them when the show goes off. Most of the guys who will call in there and send $100, because these guys were doing like crazy super chats. Fresh and Fit, they were doing like $50, $100 super chats so that they can call the women whores and all kinds of stuff. And you would do that, but then they would turn right around, and when the show is off, the women would go on the show, get yelled at, cussed at, because at the end of the show, a bunch of the guys who are listening to them calling them names would subscribe to their channels. So if you're the kind of guy who wants these women to be a certain type of person, why are you not talking to women who are at that level or the place where you want them to be? And when you have these arguments and conversations, why are you a 40-year-old, 50-year-old man yelling at a 19-year-old young lady for 2 or 3 hours after you fed her booze for 3 hours before the show started? Yeah, invite her to, like, she goes out, you give her a bunch of money, she go to the club, go to the bar, get hammered at the bar, and she show up to the studio, and you keep pouring booze down her throat, and then you want to sit there and have logical conversations and discussions with her. And then, you know, oh yeah, own silly ass woman who comes on the show and tries to think she's modern and blah, blah, blah. Why aren't you trying to talk to women who are on your level? Because that's the one thing I noticed that they never did. They never brought on a woman or a person who would combat them or argue with them who was on their level. Meaning that you have a guy who's like 30, 40 years old, he's married with kids, and he's arguing with somebody who is a kid, a woman who's young enough to be his daughter, and he's yelling at her about her life choices. It's ridiculous. You know? So, like I said, if you want people to follow you, you have to be worthy of following. And if you're going to, instead of you lecturing these women on how they need to change their life and what they need to do, what you need to do is you need to lecture these men on how to be the type of men who attract the type of women that they want, who can attract the type of women where they develop skill sets, they develop the ability to take care of themselves and provide for other people and do the things that they need to do, to where they can be in a position where a woman would say, you know what, this guy clearly has it all figured out and he's got it put together. I don't mind signing up to his program if that's what you want to do. Me personally, I'd rather have a partner than an employee. That's just me, though. That's just me. I'd rather have a partner than an employee. I like the fact that I can go down and have a conversation with my wife about things that I want to do or try to do. And if the shit is dumb, she give me pushback. She don't just, okay, James, we're going to try that. Okay, you take to the moon. No, she gives me pushback and we have a conversation. If she disagrees, we have a conversation about it. I appreciate that. I value that. What I don't value is I get to come in there and just tell you whatever we want to do and you just go along with it. There's no value in that shit to me. That does not help me. That's me being by myself. At that point, why am I talking to you at all? What am I discussing with you? You don't have an opinion. And if you do have an opinion, it doesn't matter. So what am I talking to you at all for? That's not a partner. That's an employee. So I don't know, but we shall see. We'll see what comes of this. Cause it really, cause like I said, and they set these guys up because they don't teach them how to be leaders. They don't teach them how to lead. They just, their way of saying that they should be leaders is essentially saying that men are superior, women are inferior, men should be in charge because we're just genetically disposed to be in charge and women shouldn't be. And if they don't let you be in charge, that's because they're modern and wicked and evil and they're unnatural. But you're not teaching them how to navigate the world. And that's why I think it's a failure. Yeah. But I'm interested in seeing it. Was that in that Manosphere doc, the wanker TikToky, whatever his name is getting grief from his ma'am, and is calling her mommy. It's so cringe. These broken men telling other men what to do. Yeah. Like, yeah, one guy who said you hanging out with your girlfriend is you know, is, well, it is what it is. Guy came out and said, if you hanging out with your girlfriend, that's gay. Like, what? Maybe you don't know what it means. First of all, it's not a bad thing to be gay. It's an orientation. It's what you are. So if that's what you are, that's what you are. But why are you disparaging men and trying to discourage men from hanging out with women? Another guy, I've heard him say, like, you don't move in with a woman. Don't ever live with a woman. Instead, live with your buddies. Because a group of guys can get stuff done. But if you hanging around with your female, then there's something wrong with you. If you're hanging around with women, there's something wrong with you. What? And you guys supposed to be teaching people how to get relationships? What? Brittany, not Brittany. Manosphere dummies. She must be a virgin and a freak in the sheets that I don't have to teach anything to. Yeah, but if she too good, then you got to be scared because she been riding a carousel. Because they're all liars too. Yeah, it's just dumb. It's such a self-destructive thing. Was this Brittany, not Brittany? I'll call and leave a speak pipe about that date because it was one of the most insane 3 hours of my life. I'm surprised that shit lasted 3 hours. I mean, I'm surprised it lasted 3 hours. Sometimes you just got no one to rip the cord and shit. Okay, you know what? I'm going to get out of here. I see this ain't going nowhere. Yeah, well, I'm just so we'll I think we'll do that. But let me know. James, I was doing it for the plot. You want to see how deep that well ran? Is that what it is? Like, how dumb could this shit be? Like, what's this? See, this is why homophobia really needs to be addressed, because the amount of men dating while hating women because they can't be with men is actually insane. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's the idea of, like, I'm gonna prove that I'm a manly man, so I'm gonna just try to run through it, degrade women, and then try to run through them so that I can prove my value as a man, and I'm not a thing that I think I am. And because you can't be honest with yourself, all you're gonna wind up doing is just destroying a bunch of lives. Your life, the life of the men that you messing with on the side, and your potentially your wife and your kids. You know. See, Lizzie B said, got any questions, ideas, or want to write to James? My Take on Reality. My Take on Reality questions at gmail.com. You can also leave a SpeakPipe message. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to pull the cord on this bad boy. Let me give a shout out to the Mega Mod Squad. We had Lizzie B and Brittany, not Brittany, in the house. I think Carmel Cutie, she has a Jurad Dute tomorrow, so that's why she was not in. But want to thank Darlene Hall, as well as Megatron, Jody Periscala, Lizzie B, Brittany, not Brittany. Thank you guys so much. And did I say Megatron? Yeah, Megatron. We're gonna throw it in there again in case I missed her. But thank you so much. Let me get a little something. And I also want to do a little thing called hearts in the chat. I want to put hearts in the chat for people who may feel like they need support, people who aren't necessarily things aren't going their way. Just maybe they just up, they down. They just feel like they need that special something to let people know, let themselves know that people are in their corner. So let's put some hearts in the chat for those individuals. Specifically, we had some people, Jody Periscala, Carmel Cuties, Megatron, Miss Betty, Kathy Ferran, Allison Gaines, Marlo Peterson, and Team, and Ty. Let's put some hearts in the chat for them. We've been having some things going on. I don't necessarily get in people's affairs. If they want to share, that's their business. But I'm not, I'm a vault, as it were. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, in the words of Linda. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Appreciate you. I'll put some more hearts in the chat from my side. Okay. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with you guys tonight. Thank you so much. And before we go, I got to give a big shout out to, like I said, the Mega Mod Squad, Lizzie B, Carmel Cuties, and Brittany, not Brittany. Keeping the show safe and secure while we are rocking through the evening. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back on Tuesday with the call-in show. We'll have more of the I hope you guys like those videos I was showing the other day. We'll do some more of those and have some more conversations. We might even talk about some more sister wives stuff. You never know. So make sure you tune in on Tuesday. But thank you so much. That's my take. I'm James, and this has been my take on reality, and I'm out.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.